Nerd morning, everyone. My name is Jeremy, and today I wanted to talk about Batgirl 50. This is the final issue in this series, and I thought it was fantastic. A really, thoughtful and just well-written story. There was actually 3 stories in here, and the one I'm mostly talking about is the first story, the main story. Overall, this series in general has been up and down for me. Mostly good, mostly really enjoying it, but there's a few times where I was just less interested. And, that's okay. But this particular issue I thought was so impactful, so powerful, so I think probably somewhat controversial that I thought it was worth talking about. And so here we are. The first big thing is that this has a cameo appearance for Ryan Wilder. Ryan Wilder is the new Batwoman that's going to be appearing in the second season of the CW show Batwoman. And this is a brand new character, and they're really excited about it, and that's super cool, but she's not a comic book character, so DC Comics decided to put her in as a cameo appearance in this issue, which I think is kind of interesting. Maybe this issue, for that alone, will be worth some money down the road. The story takes place after the Joker War, so all of the big epic stories that's been going on in the Batman comics and the Batverse has come to a close, but the ramifications of what happened because of the Joker War are still being felt, and I think that is probably really significant because though it's changed how Batman operates, he's no longer a billionaire, he's more a millionaire. The different things like that have shifted and changed how we're going to be reading Batman stories, but really it's also have shifted and affected Gotham. And that's something we really see here. There is some people who are really upset, and there's been some protests and people wanting to have their voices heard. Now that I think has some strong parallels to the different protests and things that have happened here in the real world, obviously for totally different concerns, for different reasons. But we see here some protesters tearing down statues and defacing and different things like that. And we also some people who are holding up signs, trying to have their voices heard, trying to express themselves. And we actually see Barbara Gordon join that second group, the group that's been trying to just let their voices be heard and are trying to express themselves through protest. And I think that's really interesting to see a superhero join a protest. I don't remember any other time that I can recall where this had occurred in comics. So that's just interesting and I think noteworthy. Also, she is not only stepping up as Barbara Gordon, but she's stepping up as Batgirl. She has some interesting conversations with the Bat family, and she goes out and just tries her very best to be the best hero she can be. She deals with, people being hurt, people being attacked. She helps with smaller things like helping an old lady across the street. And I really love seeing characters like these big superheroes deal with some of those smaller issues of just being a good person. And I really resonate with that. And they did that here as they had this really big montage of all the different things that she was helping with and doing. While she confronts the Bat family and Batman in particular, Batman's like, oh man, all these different things, it's super tough. And she pretty much calls him out and says, put your money where your mouth is. You have the ability to help these people, these different individuals. You really should donate to some of these causes that are actually trying to help the different things that have gone on because of what you did in the Joker War. And he goes and he makes a donation because of Batgirl and because of what she said. I really think that's cool, and just that Batman has always been trapped in his perspective of I've got to punch bad guys. That's how I deal with things. And that might also pedal back to some of the people who have talked about some of Batman's own levels of psychosis or his mental instability, which I think is really interesting and not this conversation at all, but he seems to only want to deal with things through physical means, and he is not really one to make donations or to help that way and to change the world because of his finances, but because he has a bat suit. And so she really calls him out and makes a shift there, which I think, I don't know, is powerful and impactful. It's interesting. Well, one of the big things that she has that's been going on throughout the Batgirl story is that she's been working for a congressman, a political individual who has some influence and she really has believed can go and make positive changes for Gotham. Here she confronts this woman and says that you've got to do something because of the unrest, because of the angered people, because these people have been hurt and they need help and they need to be heard. And she gets the congresswoman to go out and actually talk with the protesters and then go out and actually march with the protesters. And I really think that's interesting. I think what's the big thing here is that Barbara Gordon saw the difficulties, the struggles that she was facing for her city, and she was willing to step up and act in the way that she felt was the right thing to do to help her city. Well, that's kind of the first story, and I really thought it was super interesting. Alright, so issue number 2 is kind of her going out to the Justice League and saying, hey, I'm here to help you guys, and then her kind of being ignored and set off to the side, and then all of a sudden, all these people are saying, hey, Batgirl, come and help me. She's got the Flash and Green Lantern and all these different individuals that are saying, please help me, and she sees that she has her own mission to accomplish, and she has to be able to kind of stick up for herself, and I thought that was just a really cool, like, empowerment message in that next story in the issue. The last one was super fun. It was a quick story with the Birds of Prey. I love the Birds of Prey. I think they're just a fun team, and Batgirl has them all together playing Dungeons and Dragons, and seeing these characters who I don't really consider to be very nerdy for the most part, sitting down and playing Dungeons and Dragons, I thought was a joy. It was so fun to see, so entertaining. And then of course we go off and have an actual mission with the Birds of Prey, which was just really fun. I think that this issue is probably one that is going to be worthwhile to pick up, to read. I think there's a lot of things going on with it that make this a unique and powerful story. What are your thoughts with the issue? What are the things that you thought about it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.